Hi Pisces, welcome to your reading for January 2020. Thanks for tuning in. Please join me here while I shuffle and check in with your higher self and guides. Ask them to connect with my higher self and guides so that we can create a feedback loop. That way information that comes through here in this reading will be tailored for you. And if you take a moment to set up that dialogue, this can very much be a personal reading for you. So you can set aside any distractions that you may have going on around you. Grab some headphones and settle in. I want to make sure that you make the most out of your time here with me and you don't miss any of these messages. So let's get started. I'm working with a new deck. If it's your first time here, I've just acquired the Aquarian Tarot. I'm very pleased to have it to be able to work with. I love the imagery and the colors. It's kind of Art Nouveau-ish. Some major arcanas in your reading. Okay, interesting spread. Let me tune in for a second. The bottom of the deck we have the Page of Swords. From the major arcana we have the World in reverse in the outcome. There's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse in the hopes and fears. Strength upright in your environment. And that's it. There's quite a few court cards in your reading. So there's people in your environment at the moment or influencing upon you. Or these are parts of your own archetypal nature that you are expressing at this time through different areas of life. We'll talk about it. Now, Knight of Pentacles at the heart of the reading in the upright is crossed by the Ten of Swords in the upright as well in this reading. This is talking about the starting of a new venture, some kind of new project that you may be wishing to begin and undertake. And the crossing card here describes your challenge or your obstacle. So being that the Ten of Swords is the crossing card, it could be here that there is some kind of existing thing that you're working on that you may need to complete before you're actually able to really enter into a commitment for something new that you actually really want to pursue. Now, there's actually quite a few Pentacles cards in this reading. So there seems like there's a heavy focus on work at the moment for you. As I said, you have the King of Pentacles at the foundation upright. The heart of the reading is the Knight of Pentacles. The crowning card is the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And then in this quadrant we have Four of Pentacles reverse, and here is Eight of Pentacles reverse. Hopes and fears, Two of Pentacles in reverse. So what all this is telling me is that while there is a focus on your money, but more importantly, I feel like this is more about your investment in your own development as a creative person or as someone who wishes to pursue or develop themselves in a specific way in their work life or in the way that you express yourself professionally or creatively. So that's what this central axis of the reading is talking about. This is your unconscious to the conscious mind, and the central two cards of the reading are talking about the basic theme that's going on here. So with King of Pentacles at the bottom of the reading and then the Three of Pentacles in reverse at the top of the reading, this is kind of saying to me that you wish to kind of perhaps establish yourself as an independent entity, and that the Three of Pentacles in the reverse there is saying that maybe you have been a person that's been involved in collaborations recently, or maybe that's what this current thing is that you need to complete in order to move on. It seems like that for some of you, it's not for everyone. For some people, collaborations really work. But in this reading, it seems like for someone that's watching this, you may be questioning whether or not a collaboration that you've been involved with is actually really still relevant for you and still something that you want to pursue and put energy into. Because you might find that you've been putting in a lot of effort, and maybe you're not seeing as much of a return as you had thought you might. As far as like, okay, so in this quadrant of the reading, there's Four of Pentacles reversed and Six of Cups reversed. Actually, the Four of Pentacles came out in the reverse position in the pre-shuffle that I did before I turned on the camera. So I feel like that's quite significant. It's kind of lending itself to the interpretation that you may have been putting a lot of energy into something and it hasn't brought about a return on one hand, but also this feeling here that it's maybe time to let go of something that you had held close and dear to your heart. Perhaps it's a project that has been something that you had very high hopes for, or something that was connecting you to the past in a way, something that you did with it. Maybe the people that you've been collaborating with, or the person you've been collaborating with, are people from your past, people you have had close emotional relationships with, and maybe you've begun in recent times to develop a creative project together. But you may be in the process now of questioning whether or not that's really the way you want to interact with these people. That's kind of a specific message. But so, as I said, there's a lot of Pentacles cards in the reading. There's also a lot of Cups cards. There's 3 main Cup cards in this reading that are standing out, and it's connecting me to what I just spoke about here. There's these 3 Cup cards, and they're all in reverse. 9 of Cups is in reverse in the outcome. 8 of Cups is in reverse in the position of the recent past. And 6 of Cups is in reverse here with the 4 of Pentacles reversed in the quadrant of you and how you see yourself at this time. So that's where I was getting that little interpretation about letting go of something, letting go of something nostalgic, letting go of something from the past even, letting go of some kind of emotional attachment to either people or projects that you've been involved with that have been maybe fun and interesting till now, but perhaps you're realizing that if you actually want to really pursue something seriously as a way of developing your personality, developing your talents and skills, and also furthering your career, you may need to abandon something and walk away from something that has an emotional attachment, but that may not actually lead you onward into something that will further you in the way that you want to develop financially, and also in progressing your career and your personality and your talents forward. Okay. So this quadrant of the reading, I basically already gave this interpretation, but here we have the 8 of Pentacles upright with strength upright in the position of your environment. So this is telling me that there is a time here, and these are both 8s. 8 is strength is the number 8 from the major arcana, and it's here in the upright. There's also the 8 of Cups here. So there's 3 8s in the reading, also talking about something karmic and something that requires. What I feel here actually with these 3 8s here, and all 3 8s are in this part of the reading, is that you may need to be kind of a bit more focused on your own agenda, like really hone in and focus in on the things that are important and meaningful to you. It's also about like knuckling down and staying really driven and focused and persistent and patient and dedicated and consistent on specific skills that you may have already begun to learn, or you may already know, but in like maybe upgrading those skills and developing those skills further. Maybe it could be speaking about here like requiring you to study something, maybe not formally, but perhaps in your own way, picking up new skills by just studying it in your own way, in your own time, and learning and developing those skills by practice and repetition. That's the 8 of Pentacles. And strength, I feel here, is lending its support as far as giving you like a little bit of encouragement to be courageous, to be confident, to be consistent, and also to maintain a humility about what you're doing. Like I feel there's something here that you're going towards that is quite an endeavor. There's an endeavor that you wish to undertake, something that's really meaningful and important and special to you. And it may require some sacrifice here. That's what I'm seeing, that with this 10 of Swords, 8 of Cups, 9 of Cups, 6 of Cups as well. There's a feeling here of needing to sacrifice maybe something that's comfortable and familiar, maybe with people that you know. As I said earlier, there could be some kind of connection with people that's a group project that you've been working with on something fun and interesting. But I feel like there may be a need here for you to sacrifice some of that comfort and ease of working with people that you already know on something that in a way that is already familiar to you, in order to pursue something that is a little bit more ambitious, to develop your talents and skills in a way that will further you on in your career and also enable you to earn more money. Although that's not necessarily the main priority of the agenda. There's nothing wrong with wanting to earn more money, but I feel like it's more about, for you, just like a personal sense of achievement in cultivating something that you've been really interested in for a long time and wish to take on. Let's move to the upper part of the reading here. So 2 of Pentacles reversed with Wheel of Fortune. And then in the outcome, 9 of Swords upright with the World in reverse. It's a little bit overexposed there. But anyway. So what I feel here is that, okay, hopes and fears here. 2 of Pentacles and Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So again, something about needing to make a decision and decide whether or not what you're pursuing is actually, actively relevant and worthwhile of your energy, or is it time to shift gears here and make a clear delineation between that which is like a fun, creative collaboration with people that you don't have any expectation of return, and actually putting your real passion and enthusiasm into something that is going to generate a kind of shift in your reality that is really progressive, meaningful, and will point you in the right direction is what I'm getting. It's like pointing you, like you deciding to like take something really seriously in a way that will actually enable you to progress and not just maintain, because that's what I feel. There's like this energy of just like, yeah, it's fun, it's interesting, it's creative, it's cute, there's people you love and you get to spend time with this thing, but does it further you? Is it really furthering you? Is it taking you onward to the point of in the direction that you really want to pursue? Bottom of the deck, Page of Swords. So we've got Knight of Swords, Page of Swords in this deck. We've also got Knight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, right? There's also here the Chariot in reverse, Three of Wands upright, and Knight of Wands. There's also Justice. I'm going to bring that into this reading. Okay. The feeling I get with this extension here is again the same kind of feeling I've been getting from the reading. It's a bit of a reiteration. Is that there's a turning point here where you're going from something that is kind of casual and informal and lighthearted and maybe a little bit immature, not in a bad way, just like it is what it is, into something that's more mature, more serious, more dedicated, more focused, more intentional, basically. And it's about you choosing to undertake something that will further you. Basically, it's that. I've said the same thing over and over, so I don't feel like I need to repeat anymore here. But this Justice card is interesting, coming out with the Chariot in reverse. I feel that I just keep hearing the same things. Dedication, focus, ambition, persistence. It's the same kind of energy coming out with these two cards again. It's like maybe where you've been going with what, and you know, like again, the Chariot, Wheel of Fortune, and the World are all in reverse in this reading. These three major arcanas are pretty significant, I feel, as far as describing, you know, that which I have already spoken on many times, like moving in a direction that's a little bit more serious, more dedicated, more focused, and moving away from something that was maybe casual and informal and a little bit immature, a little bit childish, not in a bad way, as I said. It's just, there's something kind of simple and playful and important, but not like super dedicated, and turning the page here into realizing that you can actually turn this into something really meaningful if you put a little bit more intention and focus and practice, dedication and consistency into it in a little bit more of an activated, intentional, as I've already said, ambitious way. You'll really be able to turn this into something that actually can be really more of a pursuit of a creative passion or an ambition that will actually help you further your career and earn more money. I'll leave it there. I've already said all that stuff before. So let's take a look now at the higher octave reading using the Voyager deck. If it's your first time here, we're going to do the same spread again using this Voyager deck. Again, tune in with me while I shuffle. Send your energy into the deck, and let's take a look at perhaps any additional messages that can come through, any blind spots that we may not be aware of, and perhaps some practical insight from your guides on how to best work with the energies that are available to make the most out of the lessons that we're facing around this time. Okay. 5 of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck. 7 of Wands reverse, crossed by the Child of Wands. 5 of Cups. Justice in reverse, here at the foundation of the deck. Let's talk about it. 6 of Swords reverse, 6 of Swords upright. Child of Swords. So there's some repeating cards, and again more of the court cards coming out in the reading. 2 of Swords, 5 of Worlds, Judgment in reverse, 7 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles, 7 of Pentacles is in reverse, 10 of Cups, Hermit reversed, and the Lovers. Interesting. Alright. What I feel from this spread, my first kind of snapshot of energy from this reading is that it's kind of a different energy from the previous spread. This is more feeling like there is something that you've kind of made a decision about recently, like, or maybe just right around this time whenever you're watching this reading, something that you've made a decision on recently is helping you move through and overcome some kind of loss or disappointment that left you feeling quite isolated and alone. And it's in a way like you're moving on emotionally, physically, and mentally from a situation. It's quite different from the first reading. You're moving on emotionally, mentally, and spiritually from a situation and turning your awareness more towards that which is, I mean, this is where it ties into the previous reading. It says here that you're moving more in the direction of something that is really meaningful and important to you, that you're passionate about, that you want to pursue, as a way of kind of confronting and facing something that was disappointing and incurred a loss, right? And by doing so, by making a clear distinction, a clear decision about the direction that you're taking, it's helping you make a breakthrough and overcome that kind of sensation of loss and disappointment, and bring you to a kind of clear, one-pointed, directional sort of focus into the things that you really wish to put your energy and time into now. Also as a way of kind of healing from a difficult situation or a difficult time. For some of you, this could be maybe about a recent breakup or some kind of either loss of, maybe you lost a job or lost some kind of connection with something or someone. It could be a friendship group. There could have been some kind of falling out here, I could see, with something or someone that was really meaningful and close to you, something or someone that you were putting a lot of time and energy into to nurture and support. It kind of feels like you either there was a breakup or a falling out or some kind of dissonant energy that led you to kind of remove yourself from or be separated from an environment of an energy of something that was kind of cohesive at one point, and now there's this kind of distinct movement away or separation from. And you kind of channeling your energy of courage and wisdom and passion and creativity into something else as a way of healing and restoring your energy and overcoming a sort of feeling of pain, grief, disappointment, or loss. So it's a healing time, it's a healing energy. It's what I feel here. Bottom of the deck we have 5 of Wands in reverse and the Hierophant reversed. So there's a lot of 5s in this reading now. Hierophant is 5 from the Major Arcana. We have the 5 of Wands in reverse. There is there was 5 of Cups here in the crowning cup position and 5 of Pentacles here in the environment. We'll talk about it again. 9 of Pentacles, and there's Strength again in your reading. There's also Chariot. So Strength and Chariot were in the previous readings, previous reading, showing up here again, along with, there's quite a few repeating cards here actually. You had the 3 of Pentacles in the previous reading. You had the, what else? Justice, as I said. There was also the, quite a few court cards. Child of Wands, Child of Swords. So from these extension cards here, it's again more or less a reiteration of what I already said, but I want to talk about these 5s here because there's 4 5s in the reading. So it's giving this energy here that there's been something extremely challenging that you've been dealing with, that you're still dealing with, that is perhaps you still can't quite totally see the point of yet. Maybe you haven't actually kind of popped out through into the other side of your experience at a place where you can look back and say that was really hard, but it was really valuable because I've learned a lot and I've understood something really vital for my personal development that's helping me move on in a way where I know and understand certain things about myself that I won't need to repeat again because I've been through that. You may not be at that point just yet, but that's the potential that's here for you. If you're able to just keep moving forward in a really real way, not to dismiss your feelings or dismiss any of that emotional stuff that's coming up. Like if you're in pain and discomfort, certainly feel those things and acknowledge them, because that is actually the way to help release and heal from any difficult circumstance that you may have just been through. But it is about the possibility here of you realizing and understanding something really important that you haven't been able to see until now about certain types of behavioral patterns or ways that you may have been engaging with life, with circumstances, with people, or not. This could be something that's completely unrelated to anything that you may have been actively engaging with. I'm certainly not trying to victim blame or anything like that here. I'm just trying to shed light on what's showing up. Because you have also here, from the major arcana, the Judgment in reverse, right? So I feel that there is this energy of turning a new leaf, of discovery, of understanding, but it's coming at the behest of some type of really challenging situation where you may feel under pressure, you may feel under the effect of circumstances beyond your control or beyond your understanding, and that's still sort of an active energy that's at play here, is what I feel. But, Strength and Chariot, again, coming out in your reading, it's really about you kind of figuring out what you're made of and how to turn adversity into something that you can make to become your advantage in life. Whether that's really figuring out what, if you've had a loss or disappointment, this could be the moment where you really start to deeply dive inside and figure out what you like and what you want and what you're going to call in and what your intentions, how you're going to drive forward, Chariot, with your courage and with your passion, strength, excuse me, to really enter into a new part of life where you are feeling empowered, where you're feeling courageous, where you're feeling creative, where you're feeling one-pointed in your ambition and your focus that's actually really bringing you results that are really something to be proud of through your consistent effort. But Justice in both readings is interesting. In the previous reading it was upright, here it is in reverse. So while this was in the extension part of the previous reading, in this area of the spread, in this current reading here it is in the reverse position in your unconscious mind. So that's kind of giving me this little bit of an insight that, that the Justice from the previous reading is kind of like what your potential is, where it's like understanding that this is the karmic balance coming into play and things are actually working in your favor and coming to a place of stability and fairness and equanimity in a way that's really actually beneficial to you. But in this current energy, it feels like you may not see it that way yet. You might feel like something really unfair has happened that you didn't deserve. And that could actually be very accurate. But in a larger perspective, in a bigger picture, in a karmic way, perhaps there is some kind of metaphysical situation playing out that will help to reveal something that is important for you to understand, to help you be that stronger, more courageous, more sublime individual with a greater awareness. And that's all this is about. It's not some kind of personal attack on you by the universe to punish you for something that you're doing that's wrong. It's not like that at all. It's just about your growing awareness, your empowerment, your confidence building, and your strengthening of your character, of your will, of your personality, and of your creativity. I feel that's it for your reading. Let me just check over here, Pisces. Seven of Wands in this reading in reverse, from the previous reading, this Four of Pentacles reverse, and this Ten of Swords in reverse as well. Sorry, upright as a crossing card. All of these cards are sort of leading me to the interpretation of this being about something that is really important to let go of. It's time to let go of and move on from something that you've been connected to or attached to, either emotionally or physically, and seek to embody a space of genuine inquiry into how to move forward from here and how to use the situation that you've been in that might have been difficult. As I said from the previous reading and this reading as well, there could have been some kind of separation, isolation, splitting, rejection, something along those lines. And seek to use your awareness to actually dig and inquire about this process rather than stay too long in the emotional discomfort and pain of that feeling of being separated from or isolated from or rejected by, and actually use this use the energy to kind of pull back a little bit and view it from a different perspective, in a way that enables you to kind of do some detective work about the reality of what's actually going on, and see where you can learn and grow, basically, from the circumstances that may have been challenging. Alright. Feel that's it for your reading, Pisces. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. It's an honor and a pleasure to read for you. I hope you found some things in there that you can work with. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting, and I'll see you in the next reading.